Recording in progress.
Good evening. Welcome to the committee meeting for the Township of Chatham this Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025. We have returned from executive session. I now ask everyone to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America.
which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, all. I wanted to share with you 2 points for this evening's agenda and for agendas forthcoming in the spring and summer. When there are capable people at the helm, the operations often seem like a well-oiled machine. Things get done timely, communications flow, output seems greater than the input. The work of this committee is deeply aided by these individuals who are carrying the load forward for the township. For Colony Pool, there is much behind-the-scenes work in the winter that must take place for opening day and for the season to be an enjoyable, smooth experience for our members. I applaud our staff and professionals, Mr. Shahadi, Ms. Kafoni, Mr. Young, for procuring welcome concession services and energetic, experienced leadership for the colony and expeditiously readying the grounds for this season. A hearty thanks to Mr. Rushke, our engineer, and our staff for pouncing on state and federal grant monies to improve our infrastructure, including our roads and sidewalks, playgrounds, and open space, largely without any further burden on our taxpayers. And Police Chief Miller, who does not stop finding ways to run our police more efficiently and effectively, all the while respecting our budgetary sensitivities. In tonight's agenda, I recognize his wisdom to effect organizational changes to improve efficiencies with no increase in headcount, and his measured request for important equipment, such as automated license plate readers to equip our police with tools they need. An annual audit for the township that has always ended in a clean bill of health, free of any deficiencies that demand further action from the state or county. Many thanks to Mr. Shahadi, Ms. King, Mr. Daniels, and Mr. LeConte. Part of our job is to continue to build on our strengths and improve on our weaknesses, of which there will always be some. But I do want to acknowledge and celebrate our achievements, small and large. Redesign of Colony Pool, the future of the Fenske property, our operating budget, and the 4th round of affordable housing. This is the collective body of work for this year for which we have collaborated amongst ourselves and strived to collaborate with you, the residents, to obtain feedback in order to arrive at the very best outcome possible for the township. My second point is this: we embrace the messy. We embrace the messy collaboration that requires the back and forth of differing opinions, experiences, and ideas to get things done. We accept the notion that to solve some of our challenges, our pathway is often not a straight, smoothly paved road like the ones that Mr. Rushke promises us for Britton Road, Delwood, Ferndale, and Hampton Road, just to name a few streets that will be repaved this summer. There are detours and there are disagreements. I have shared this previously, but there are many decades of collective skills and experience sitting before you on the dais. But there's also humility and an openness to listen, to know that despite this collection of skills and experiences, we do not always have all the answers. We do work together, and we do work diligently, and we do our best to publish information and proffer generous access in a form of workshops, meetings, and office hours to seek important input from residents who wish to speak their mind, so that collectively we can advance our mission for enjoying a charmed life in this township. A single leaf working alone provides no shade. It's a quote by Chuck Shade. So with that, I invite you this summer to meet us at a shady spot under a tree at Colony to continue the good work and discuss all things Chatham Township. Thank you. On to committee reports. Deputy Mayor Rowland, may I start with you? Can you hear us?
Sure. Not a ton going on. Happy Earth Day to everyone. For the Historical Society, the next open house is May 2nd. So I invite everyone to go there. I know I'm not going to steal anyone's thunder. I know April 26th is going to be a very busy day across the township and across multiple municipalities. So I'll let others comment on that. But that's really all I have right now.
Thank you to you, Deputy Mayor Rowland. Committeeman McHugh.
Thank you, Mayor. And thank you for that poetic mayor's note.
Always.
All right. First, well, let's start with the library. There are important things for residents to know in that the Library Consortium migrated to a new system in March. That impacts you directly because you have to change your password. And so your password is the last, switches over, if it's not already your password, which some may be already, to your accounts. To reset the last 5 digits of your phone number is fine, but that will be the default that the system puts it into. So if you're trying to get into the system and it isn't working, then you have not used the last 5 digits, and you're not obligated to use that, but just change it and go in. But to get in, that'll enable you to do that. All right. The library is offering a new series of what I used to know as STEM, but now STEAM. They've added the "and" in there, and that's for children ages 1 to 14, and that's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And each program provides children with hands-on learning experiences to explore these topics, and it's a great start for your guys, and certainly one of the ways the library supports directly education of our very young people. Moving on to what Deputy Mayor Rowland has alluded to, we have a extraordinarily busy Saturday coming up, and I'll steal the morning sessions, which would be at Shunpike Field. There are tree plantings. There are a tree giveaway and a cleanup of the Shunpike Field property. This all happens 10 to 12 in the morning. And there is a thought that it may rain heavily on Saturday. It may or may not be pushed to Sunday. But in general, come on out, see you Saturday at Shunpike Field for all those fun activities. The same days, obviously, Trails Day, and there'll be people at all the trails in town, people to greet you at the head of that trail. So we look forward to see everybody out in town, out and about in the morning for that session of activity. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Committeeman. Committeewoman Ewald.
Thank you. And thank you for the library update. We actually did update our access this weekend. And my husband proceeded to go down the Ancestry.com rabbit hole because you can access a number of sites that you have to pay for access otherwise using your library access. So the other one that the Historical Society always tells us about is newspapers.com. You could find out a lot of really neat historical information and use your access to your library card. So my reports, the Senior Center will be having their Shred fundraiser this weekend and their sneaker drive on Saturday, April 26th from 9 to 12 at Chatham Middle School. And they will have on Friday, June 6th, the 35th anniversary party fundraiser, Beers and Cheers to 35 years. And we will be honoring the Senior Center former board president, Jim Connolly. So I hope folks come out to support the Senior Center. We also enjoyed the ribbon cutting this week of the improvements that were done at the Senior Center. I know this committee was very proud to support that, and as well as Chatham Borough contributed and Madison contributed as well to those improvements, which included new ceiling tile because it was falling apart, lighting, beautiful new carpet throughout, and then in the large room there's a substantial wall separator that allows them to run 2 different programs at the same time. But they always are running amazing programs. I hear pickleball at the Senior Center is just out of control competitive and very well attended. So there's lots of fun things going on at the Senior Center. So please go online and check it out. The mayor had mentioned Colony Pool. The schedule of events is up on the website. I want to thank the Colony Advisory Committee for all the work setting up all kinds of fun events. I think there's 8 different dates when we have live music. Opening day is May 24th, and then Memorial Day, May 26th, is they're going to have live music that day. There's going to be the last day of school party. There's just lots of fun stuff going on. On Father's Day, there'll be live music. You can go online and check out Bingo at the Beach, Sandcastle Contest. They really did an amazing job putting together a wonderful program, so I thank them for all their work. The planning board, the mayor had also mentioned our fourth round housing element. The planning board is looking at that, so if you have an interest, because they have to approve our housing element and fair share plan under the fourth round. So if you have any interest in hearing those discussions, the planning board is going through those, evaluating that at this time. They are also looking at a subdivision on Cedar and Maple, and that discussion will continue on May 5th, so if anybody is interested, there will be public hearings for that subdivision at that time. And then continuing on the excitement for this weekend, which I have to make sure to put these things in my calendar, because otherwise I will forget to turn out. But this April 26th, I guess, which is a Saturday, right? Joining all the other events here at the Chatham Township Municipal Building over in the fields is from 12 to 2. Our events committee will have their spring fling event, which sounds pretty cool. There'll be music, kites, face painting, lots of fun stuff. So come out with the family. I think it's going to be a fun event, and thank you again to the events committee for putting that together. And that's my reports.
Committeewoman Wall, thank you. Committeeman Alperowitz.
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing to add tonight.
Wonderful. Thank you. On to our first hearing of citizens. Mr. Aconti, could you kindly provide guidance?
Members of the public are now welcome to come up to the microphone to address the Township Committee. This is an opportunity for any member of the public to be heard about issues which are not topics scheduled for public hearings tonight. Those present may step up to the microphone to be heard. If you're watching via Zoom, you may speak during any of the public comment sessions by following the Zoom instructions to raise your hand. Whether in person or online, when you are recognized to speak, please mind the following procedures. Please say your name, spell your last name, and give the name of your street. You do not need to give your street number. All public comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Rather than use any of your time answering questions, the Township Committee will wait until you finish speaking before responding. There are 2 public comment sessions on tonight's agenda. Each member of the public will be limited to 1 comment of up to 3 minutes during each public comment period. Written comments submitted to the Township Clerk before 3 p.m. today will be read during the public comment sessions, which we did not receive any. But if we had, written comments would be subject to the same guidelines as oral comments. Duplicative written comments may be summarized rather than read in full, according to the guidelines issued by the New Jersey Division of Local Government Services. And while I'm at it, these same rules will apply to the public hearings on the ordinances coming up later.
Great, thank you, Ms. LaConte. We do not have any written statements. Do we have anyone online?
We do not have any hands raised online at this time.
Great, thank you. I now invite those in the audience to come before the mic should they desire to do so. I see no one, so I shall close the first hearing of citizens. On to the public hearing and final adoption of ordinances. Ordinance 2025-09, land use board fees. Mr. Shahadi, could you kindly give a brief summary?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So the genesis of this comes from our land use board manager. She had done a review of the fees for applications. Many of those fees had not been updated in nearly 2 decades, and the consideration for this was to ensure that the individuals making the applications, their costs are covered. A lot of professional costs, administrative costs, advertising, legal costs, just a whole assortment of costs have gone up that go into these applications, and to ensure that it's not borne by taxpayers but the applicants themselves. There was an adjustment made. Last night, the planning board also considered this as part of their master plan consistency review and found that this was not inconsistent with the master plan, and so we are clear to adopt.
Thank you, Mr. Shahadi. I now open it up to the public with in reference to ordinance 2025-09, land use board fees.
There are no hands raised.
Thank you, Mr. LaConte. I now invite anyone in the audience to come before the mic. I see no one, so I shall close the public hearing. I now seek a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-09, land use board fees.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Mr. LaConte?
Is there any discussion?
Oh, sorry. I now open up the discussion to committee.
I thought Mr. Shoddy did a great job kind of summarizing what, the key points. There were some questions in planning board, because planning board had to review this regarding the fees, but I think basically it comes down to, it's a use fee, we're not able to cover the cost of, these things. And it hasn't been updated, and there was an analysis at, looking at other towns, neighboring towns, to set these fees. So I'm satisfied with the information that we received. Thank you.
Thank you, Committeeman. I think I'll also note that it was addressed a small deficiency in terms of application type that was not provided for in the existing documentation, so I think we covered that gap. Yeah. So thank you. Any other members of the committee? I shall now close the discussion portion. Take it to a vote. Mr. LaConte?
Mr. Alperowitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Ewald?
Yes.
Mr. McHugh?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rowland?
Yes.
And Mayor Choi.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. LaConte. On to ordinance 2025-10, encroachment land sale. Mr. Shoddy?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. This ordinance is required anytime township, an ordinance is required anytime that the township wants to acquire or sell land. In this case, we are selling land. It is a small piece of land that was subdivided from a larger piece of land that the township bought for the purposes of developing affordable housing. When that property was purchased, there was encroachments on there, which would have delayed and affected our affordable housing process. So that's why it was subdivided, and the adjacent property to that parcel is interested in buying that land. They have signed the necessary agreements, and the township will be generating $20,000 from the sale of this land, which otherwise would have been underutilized.
Thank you, Mr. Shoddy. I now open up the public hearing for ordinance 2025-10, encroachment land sale.
We do not have any hands raised.
Great, thank you. I now invite anyone in the audience to come before the mic, should they desire to do so. I see no one, so I shall close the public hearing for ordinance 2025-10, encroachment land sale. I shall now open it up for discussion amongst the committee. I would like to just say that with regard to this particular ordinance, I do want to give acknowledgement and commendations to a number of folks who had was involved in affecting this transaction. While the parcel of land that needed to be conveyed was small, the task at hand was not small. It had the potential of impeding our objective and realizing part of our affordable housing objectives. So hats off to Ms. Gaffoni, Mr. Shahadi, Mr. Rushke, I think were the principal members, for the interdisciplinary effort to make this happen. So thank you very much. It was a smooth process and a nice check off for the township. Indeed. If there's no one else, I'd like to, I'm sorry, Mr. McHugh? Oh, no.
I was getting ready to move.
Gotcha. I'd like to close the discussion. Take it to a vote, Mr. LaConte.
No.
I'm sorry. A motion to adopt ordinance 2025-10, encroachment land sale.
I move to adopt ordinance 2025-10, encroachment land sale.
And I'll second.
Wonderful. Mr. LaConte.
We did discussion.
We just
Can we just
did
discuss?
we just did discussion. Sorry.
Mr. Alperowitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Ewald?
Yes.
Mr. McHugh?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rowland?
Yes.
And Mayor Choi.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. LaConte. On to introduction of ordinances. Ordinance 2025-11, amending police department structure. Mr. Shahadi?
Thank you, Mayor. You did allude to this in your message in the beginning, which captured quite well the objectives here. Our police chief always looking at ways to operate more efficiently and effectively to ensure the safety of the community. and doing so in a financially responsible manner. Reviewed our table of organization, which is codified in our ordinances, and felt that we can restructure in such a way that, because right now our detective bureau and our traffic safety officer fall under supervision of a lieutenant. What this is doing is reallocating that detective position and assigning a dedicated sergeant to oversee that unit. So it puts the detective and traffic safety special services unit under that supervision of a sergeant, which enhances supervision and accountability, improves efficiency in operations there, helps with the communication and collaboration within the department, and also helps with increasing the oversight on various cases that they investigate and the traffic safety program, which is ever so important in the town, especially with a lot of pedestrians and school children's around. So doing so represents a very minor difference in economics while reaping some tremendous benefits. That's what this ordinance does, is it reflects that table of organization. One thing I will add that we did not cover in the workshop, our ordinance, I believe said, I'm trying to remember the number of police officers, I think it said 13 patrolmen. We did correct that because at some point in the past number of years, it was increased by the governing body to 14, and so, but the ordinance was not corrected to reflect that, so we also made that housekeeping correction in this ordinance. The updated one? Okay, so I apologize. The updated one that you're introducing should say under police department personnel up to 14 patrol officers rather than up to 13. So I apologize. I'm not sure which version.
That's
need
what
to
my
take
version
action.
says.
That's the one we have.
Okay,
Yeah,
I just want to
14.
make sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so the one from the agenda from today, I don't see
Yeah,
it.
the one that was emailed this morning, I guess the.
Later.
Yeah, the hard.
Yeah, the hard
hard
copy,
copy
the
has it.
emailed
Okay,
one.
good.
Yeah,
Just to make sure,
Yeah,
okay.
the emailed one says 13, so I don't know what hard copy you have. Just want to clarify that
sure.
it
Yep.
is 14.
So let the record reflect that the ordinance 2025-11, in reference to the number of patrolmen, it
The one that you're
does in
introducing
fact
today.
read 14.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, the hard copies that you have in front of you are the most up-to-date of all the documents.
Thank you, Mr. Alconti. Is there a motion to introduce ordinance 2025-11, amending police department structure?
So moved.
And I will second.
Thank you. Shall open it up for discussion. I made my comment earlier, and again, I'd like to just make a brief commendation to Chief Miller for always staying on top of it, being diligent and mindful of resources and delivering services to the township. So thank you again, Chief Miller, wherever you are.
Yeah, I think, is this our discussion or their discussion? I forget.
Our discussion.
Yeah, I'll just second kind of what's already been said too, is well thought out, well strategized, with great consideration to, efficiency and budget considerations and all those things as well too. Just gave me even further confidence in what I already believe to be true. So, thank you, Chief Miller.
Thank you, Committeeman. If there's no one else, great. I will close the discussion portion. We'll take ordinance 2025-11, amending police department structure, to a vote.
Mr. Alperowitz,
Yes.
Mrs. Ewald,
Yes.
Mr. McHugh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rowland,
Yes.
and Mayor Choi.
Yes.
Motion passes, and public hearing will be on May 20th.
Thank you, Mr. Loconti. On to public hearing, final adoption of 2025 municipal budget. Mr. Shoddy?
Thank you, Mayor. So this budget is, I think, again, another fiscally responsible budget. We introduced this last month. There was a presentation to the public on it. There are a number of factors that are causing appropriations to go up, whether it's insurance, whether it is pension liabilities, all sorts of things. Anything within discretion, we've tried to hold the line on. We are not adding or increasing staffing. We are doing more with less year after year. It's a responsible budget that still accounts for a lot of capital improvements. One most visibly that residents will see are their roads. That is a large chunk of change that we spend on, and the rest of it goes to public safety and Public Works to ensure that they have the equipment necessary and the apparatus necessary to fight fires, respond to crime, to ensure our streets are clean and patched and our fields are all taken care of. So I want to give tremendous credit to all the department heads for their hard work and their fiscal diligence. I want to also thank the Finance Subcommittee, which is Committeeman McHugh and Deputy Mayor Rowland as well, for their insight, for their review. I would like to note that our this year we were under state review, so there's a rotating schedule. Towns can, quote, self-exam on certain years, and then on years the state has to review it before you can adopt it. The state did review it. They had very minimal comments as well. I also want to add our auditors did review it as well, and some of the comments, if I may, Mayor, if I could just
Certainly.
quote from our auditors, says, quote, "I commend the efforts made this year by all those parties involved to put together a balanced budget which was thoughtful to the residents while dealing with inflationary increases and the township's desire not to eliminate services to residents." I think that's a great point, and she also adds, "There's nothing noted in this budget that would place an unnecessary burden on future budgets of the township." We always try to balance, or at least I always try to balance in the budget-making process with our terrific CFO, who knows the history, but also is astute to plan for the future. We try to balance how much we use from our fund balance, which people commonly know as the surplus, not to use too much of it. We like to balance all these factors so that way we're not incurring tremendous debt that we can't handle in the future, and also maintain our bond ratings, and which also help us in ensuring borrowing costs also remain as low as they possibly can.
Thank you, Mr. Shoddy. I shall now open up to the public, Resolution 2025-99, adopting year 2025 municipal budget. Mr. LeConte?
We do not have any hands raised on Zoom.
Thank you, Mr. LeConte. I now invite anyone in the audience to come before the mic. I shall close the public hearing for Resolution 2025-99, adopting year 2025 municipal budget. Do I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2025-99, adopting year 2025 municipal budget?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I now open up for discussion if there is any.
Well, I would like to thank our CFO, Mr. Shahadi, and the Finance Committee for all their work. I know everything that goes into these budgets, how much it, takes. And I know, for the benefit of the public, there's always going to be pressure. You've got, just salary increases. And if you're not cutting staff or cutting services, and you've got caps on what you could raise, it's just very hard to close that gap. And that's the more manageable portion of it. Then, of course, you've got all the pressure from, healthcare costs and utility costs, and those are going up far more than 2%. So there's always upward budget pressure. And, in terms of revenue, we onboarded the Dixie-Dale, the townhomes in Dixie-Dale. So that's, leveled out, and those revenues are distributed across, the distribution of the operating budget across those properties is, you just don't get that benefit of the onboarding of those properties anymore. So I know there's a lot of pressure, and we're investing a lot in the community. So between the fire trucks, which are a $4.5 million plus price tag, the aging wastewater facility, which is another $6 million, our obligation, our affordable housing obligation, which aside from any investment we have to make in that, also includes any legal and engineering and planning expenses. So there's all these pressures, and I have to say this was a commendable outcome. So I appreciate everybody's work in doing their best to keep any increase down.
Thank you, Committeewoman. I will also add the county mandated revow, so another material expense that was borne down on us and was manageably included in the budget. So hats off to the subcommittee, Deputy Mayor Rowland, Committeeman McHugh. I appreciate, I've sat in those seats myself as well, so I'm wholly appreciative of the effort there. We speak about ever-increasing demands on finite resources, and the challenge was met again. So thank you again. If there's no one else, I'll close discussion.
Mr. Alparowitz,
Yes.
Mrs. Ewald,
Yes.
Mr. McHugh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rowland,
Yes.
and Mayor Choi.
Yes.
Motion passes. We have a budget.
Thank you, Mr. LeConte. On to consent agenda. Is there a member of the committee who would like to carve out any particular item or items? Is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda, resolutions 2025-100 through resolution 2025-113?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Alparowitz,
Yes.
Mrs. Ewald,
Yes.
Mr. McHugh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rowland,
Yes.
and Mayor Choi.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. LeConte. We now move on to our second hearing of citizens. Same rules apply, Mr. LeConte, correct?
Correct. I do not see any hands raised on Zoom.
Thank you. I again invite anyone in the audience to come before the mic. I see no one, so I shall close the second hearing of citizens. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you and good evening.